Okay, so we've had an interesting conversation for about an hour. The first thing we considered was the collection of the sample of gravel from the SSSI. Is it important that it comes from within the SSSI enclosure or not? And we're saying that we're going to try and get a sample that's maybe just outside the SSSI, but we know that it's the same gravels. It would be valuable to have a section that is clearly defined and can be identified on a map that might have different vertical sections, maybe by stepping, I think Jeremy suggested. And that we could, if we can collect samples with the permission of Harrow-Weald Common, that we could put a few sackfuls of material away to be analysed during the summer. Does that sum up more or less what we were saying? Then we spoke about how to collect the sample and using different sieves to get different sizes of pebbles, and that what we thought would be a good idea would be to have a workshop, maybe on a Saturday, when everybody who's interested in counting pebbles could get together, and where we could have some tuition on the spot about how to count the pebbles, how to categorize it, and that we should count everything that's collected within the sample. So that's going to include the pebbles of all the different sizes, all the different types of pebbles, and presumably all the matrix as well. That's what I understood. Does that sum up more or less what we were saying there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then there was a very interesting question from Di, which is, why is there no bagshot sand underneath the Stanmore sample? Sorry, the Stanmore exposures. Or maybe is there some? And to have a look at Harrow-on-the-Hill as well, where there is bagshot sand, but we don't know whether there's Stanmore gravel. Did I get that the right way around, Di?
Some people, I think David Brooke might have been saying that he thinks there's Stanmore above the bagshot sand, that there's both.
Okay, and so from that, we thought it would be worth looking at other hilltops within the area. So not just Harrow-on-the-Hill, but maybe Oxley and Northwood Hills and other nearby hilltops. I can't think of
my Wi-Fi dropped out at that point. We went to have a look at some at Harrow Common, which is different to Harrow-Weald Common.
Oh, okay.
But you see Stanmore gravel there as well.
Is Stanmore Common? Are we, because I've seen Stanmore Common is very close to Harrow-Weald Common.
Yeah, it's all part of the same.
Yeah.
On the geological map, it's all part of the same patch.
It might not be worth it, but it could be interesting.
Okay, so we'll start locally and look at hilltops that might be of a similar elevation. And part of the reason for doing that is because of the problem with terminology, where the BGS have listed a whole load of other areas far away, as in Essex and south of the river in Streatham, all listed as Stanmore gravel formation. But I think the scope of this project is only going to look at the Harrow-Weald gravels and maybe compare them locally with other hilltops. Am I right? Are we happy with that?
Yes.
And another thing of interest is the geomorphology of the area. So while we're doing it, we could write up where the rivers go now, the River Pin and other local rivers, and tracking those on maps would be interesting for our website, I'm sure. And finally, to say that David Bridgeland suggests that a paper for the PGA would be worth writing, updating the knowledge of the SSSI, just to write the PGA.
We would just write a paper and present it as a reappraisal of the gravel, Stanmore pebble gravel at Harrow-Weald Common, or Harrow-Weald.
Don't you need to correlate it in some way to areas outside of your area, because it's obviously part of a whole story about what was going on in southeast England.
Cheers, Guy.
Just to answer Mike, from my perspective, I think what we're going to do is look at one set of gravel and write up what is in that set of gravel, and that is the stuff that's in Harrow-on-the-Hill Common. Anybody else who wants to go and examine gravels elsewhere can then make comparisons between them, but I'm not sure how much we can actually do in the scope of this project, other than comparing with what's already in the literature for other areas.
Do that.
Is that
The other thing that might be worth commenting on is that several of the names, several of the places you listed as worth comparison, including Bushy Heath, I notice, and Stanmore Common, are all part of a single outcrop as mapped by the BGS that runs across ridges and joins particular high spots, isn't so?
More common. Yeah, I would really be happy to go and look at the tops of the hills, all of that area, and kind of just see if we can show similarities.
Yeah, a working hypothesis would be that the BGS are right and it is all part of the same thing. And if you sampled it in different places and found that it was different in some places, then you falsified that hypothesis. I mean,
Hayden, sorry, Hayden has.
I was just going to, I'm going to have to head off, but I was just, one final thought for you, and this is going off at a tangent slightly. All this, the work that you're doing, which is brilliant, I think it's great, and targeting on the Stanmore Gravels from the section you've got, I think is extremely important, and that's your starting point. This could incur costs. I'm wearing a totally different hat now, and that being the sort of chair of the Awards and Grants Committee from the GA. It wouldn't be amiss that a research grant should be applied for this, and you can apply for up to £600 as a research project as a member of the GA, because it's exactly the sort of thing that GA members should be doing. So I just want you to be aware that that sort of financial assistance, whether it helps to set up the workshop or whatever costs you feel are associated with this project, then please feel free to have a look at that and think it's a good way that GA money could be invested.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Hayden. And can I get back?
Research Association.
Sorry, Peter.
And also from the Quaternary Research Association, they could be approached for financial support.
I would have thought the work being done in Brunel is where the expense might come. The rest of it sounds as if it's very low cost.
It is, but it mounts up dice. So I think it's aware, just being aware that financial assistance is available.
Yeah, I was going to say that there might be some, possibly not for now, but a bit down the line, that the university sometimes has money for public outreach, and we might be able to tap into some of that. So there's just been a call gone out in the last couple of weeks. It's probably a bit premature on this because it's more at the output end, but
come back to you, Hayden, and to you, Peter, and to you, Phil, to see as we proceed with this. But for now, I think we'll just put this summary as it is onto YouTube to show that how far we've got in our thinking at this point in time. Is everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Great. In that case, I think I'll bring this to a close. I did say 4 till 5 and we're slightly over, so please get back to the very important things that you were doing before you came.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you so much for giving your time, everyone, today. Thank you. Bye.
thank you for organising and inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.